You walk into rooms every day thinking the world is fair. You think hard work is enough. You think the words people say are true and that the person smiling across the table is actually on your side. But that is your first mistake.
It is a uh, massive miscalculation. Today's deep dive is pulling from research on Machiavellian psychology, and our mission is to expose the hidden contests for power happening in, well, literally every single interaction you have.
Right, because there is this invisible barrier the research refers to as the fog. I mean, we used to call ordinary life a chessboard, but you only realize you are playing after your pieces are entirely gone.
Exactly. And your own emotions, fear, anger, overconfidence, even affection, they do not arrive gently. They take your eyes.
They completely hijack your perception.
Right. They destroy your timing.
Yeah.
And they hide the actual loyalties of the people smiling right next to you.
Which is terrifying, honestly. So looking at these papers, how do we actually clear that fog?
Well, you have to adopt a mandatory survival framework. It breaks down into 4 fairly brutal strategies. First, you must strip away all emotional distortion before making any decision.
Okay, wait. Easy to say, but how do you actually do that? Like, if a colleague just threw me under the bus in a meeting, I am going to be furious.
You use a time delay tactic. The physiological research shows that an emotional half-life peaks within about 90 seconds. You force a physical pause, take a breath, walk away, write a note until that biological spike passes.
Only then do you look at the raw facts.
Yes, which leads directly to strategy 2. Judge people solely by measurable results.
So ignore their grand speeches about fairness or, their apologies after the fact.
Precisely. Let's say a coworker is constantly chatting you up about your weekend. They are super friendly, but their projects always mysteriously end up cannibalizing your team's budget. The friendly chats are irrelevant.
The measurable result is that they are defunding you.
Right. Look at the data, not the smile. Strategy 3 is taking absolute ownership of every loss. If you get outmaneuvered, you cannot blame the system or bad luck.
You have to analyze your own blind spots.
Exactly. And fourth, you must view every human action, even a compliment or a plea for justice, as a calculated strategic maneuver for advantage.
Hold on, wait. Strategy 4. Treating every single conversation as a Machiavellian power play.
Every single one.
But isn't that incredibly paranoid? I mean, you run the risk of becoming the exact toxic, isolated player you're trying to fend against.
I get why it sounds cold. I really do. But this perceived coldness is exactly what protects you. The warmth and affection you cling to are frequently the very tools rivals use to disarm you.
Still, I mean, a compliment is sometimes just a compliment, right?
Sometimes. But think of a colleague loudly praising your heavy workload in front of your boss.
Right, it sounds like affection and support.
But tactically, it might be a maneuver to ensure they get the new high-profile project because you are, quote, already swamped.
Oh, wow. They use your desire for connection to actively limit your options.
Exactly. And the sources point out that if you refuse this framework because it feels too cynical, the consequences just silently escalate.
Opportunities bleed away to the clearer players in the room.
Yes. The most dangerous part of staying inside that emotional fog is that naive players are, well, they are dangerously easy to forecast.
Because you become a predictable variable in someone else's strategy. You overreact on schedule.
You overreact on schedule.
You overtrust on schedule. You explain away your losses with excuses they already anticipated.
You make the environment incredibly simple for everyone else to navigate at your own expense. And because you are predictable, the board eventually hardens against you.
Alliances form in rooms you are not reading correctly.
Right. By the time you notice the distance between yourself and the winners, it is too late. The gap isn't just bad luck anymore. It has become a structural deficit.
It's a harsh reality check. You are already inside this contest. You've been playing this whole time, just operating without the rules.
There is no opting out. You either see the underlying dynamics or you are a variable being manipulated by someone who does.
So you have to choose your path right now. Remain blind and be manipulated, or adopt a colder system and protect your power. Ask yourself this. If the concept of a fair and just world is nothing but a trap who intentionally taught you to believe in it while they secretly learned to master the board,